Hello, everybody. Okay, so I'm so excited because I'm here with Nancy Anderson, and Nancy is a very special lady. She's been in Tupperware more than 9 years. She came back in 2013, but was in previously in her 20s. And Nancy is a professional chef. And so she has lots of great tips and tricks that she's going to share with us. And she's going to be talking about not only our Ultra Pro, as you can see in our video today, but other products to go along with it. So you're in for a real treat this afternoon or this evening or this morning, whenever you're watching us. So be sure to grab your pencil, take lots of notes, and I'm going to go on mute now and let Nancy take it away.
Great. Hi, thanks, Jerry, so much. This is exciting. I love Tupperware, as I'm sure most of you do. I joined Tupperware when I was 19 years old, way back in the late 70s. And I did it for different reasons than I do it now. At the time, I loved to cook, and I didn't really know a lot about food prep and Tupperware. My mom used cool-up dishes and margarine tubs, and I quickly found the need for better quality storage products in my new marriage, new home, new life. So I joined Tupperware to help a friend get a trip to Hawaii, and then it changed my life. Then I took a break in 2013, so about 8-9 years ago. My mom was real sick and I was taking care of her, and I really needed an outlet. I needed to get out and have a reason to shower and talk to other adults about things other than caregiving needs. And I thought, hey, I did Tupperware almost 30 years ago. It's still around. It's a great product. In the meantime, I went to culinary school, became a personal chef and caterer, had my own business for 15 years. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to come back now and actually cook at my parties and talk about Tupperware, even if I couldn't cook online or wherever, talk about the things I do with Tupperware as a home cook, as a home chef, as a personal chef for others. So the last 9 years have been really exciting to me because I've always loved Tupperware and I love cooking, and now I get to blend them together. So I have a lot of home party cooking demos. That's kind of my specialty. And I know you don't all do that out there, but maybe you're doing some things online, where you're putting things on social media and you're cooking or using our products. All those are wonderful ideas. My goal is to benefit the customer by knowing how to use our products. It's one thing to take an order, but it's another thing to educate your customers so that when they get their product, they feel confident about using it. So I think when I'm doing a home demo or a demo online, I can show the product, I can talk about how it works, and then they know that they can feel better about when they go to use it, when they have theirs. And they can always call me or text me and I'll help them. And thankfully, Tupperware has great online videos on how to work some of our products. So we can always send them there on YouTube or on our Facebook Tupperware sites to find how to use some of our things. But to me, the value is in our systems and our long-term products. At a party, I just had one Saturday and we cooked and it was great fun. I don't get into a lot of the stuff on sale. I'm a junkie for sales, don't get me wrong. And we have some wonderful products, but I'll really just quickly flip through a sale brochure, maybe highlight one or two things quickly. But I'm really going to be talking about the workhorse products we have in our catalogs. And that's usually the bigger ones. I always like to cook with something special, like our cookware or our Ultra Pro or the smart multi-cooker or the pressure cooker. Those kinds of things people really need to see, in my opinion, to know how they are. I'll do a mushroom risotto in a pressure cooker, and everybody in the room either buys or dates or joins Tupperware to get one at a discount or buy one for their own use. So when they see the product, they see the value. And I think Ultra Pro is one of those hidden gems. It's kind of underrated. And I think I need to just tell more people about it. So that's what I chose today to talk about, is our Ultra Pro line. Way back in the 80s, some of you might have or you know about Ultra 21. And that was so crazy revolutionary. It was like a miracle product. How could you put a piece of plastic in the oven and not have it melt or burn or ruin your food? And so we were all crazy about that. And then it went away. And guess what? This came back the same year I came back to Tupperware. We both took like a 25-year break and came back together. So it's got a near and dear place to my heart. I especially love the lasagna pan. I have 4 of them because, again, I cook for people, right? On the side for fun. And I like to use these in a variety of capacities. So my number one goal for all of you is, if you don't already have Ultra Pro, treat yourself, buy a piece, better yet, host a party of your own and earn it as your free gift or your half price item and start using it. You will be so much better as a demonstrator if you're using the stuff and intuitively you believe in the products that you're demoing. I mean, fridge smarts, right? We all have them, we all use them, we can go out and successfully talk about them, because we don't need to study up on it because we use them. So the more you use your products, the more you feel confident about how you can express that excitement to other people and let them know about the investment they're making in our quality products. So that's how I feel about Ultra Pro. When I was a young wife, a young mom, I started to make lasagna on Christmas Eve. We had a big dysfunctional family, just lots of people gathering around. Christmas Day was always crazy, and we were all prepping food to bring to moms. But on Christmas Eve, we always had lasagna, and we paid a lot of money for someone to make it at a Italian restaurant. And a couple of years into it, I thought I could make lasagna. That's a pretty easy thing for me. And so that was the first time I started to use what was then Ultra 21, which is now Ultra Pro. And it's the thing I probably make the most in this. I get hired by customers, not Tupperware customers, my chef's customers, to make lasagnas, vegetable lasagnas, regular lasagnas, non-meat, vegan. I mean, there's so many ways you can do a lasagna. And you can go online. The beauty of having online life right now is you can go to any website or just go to Google and type in, a vegan lasagna or my favorite casserole, and you'll have 1,000 recipes to choose from. So it's not like you have to have my recipes to be successful with this. You can just find any recipe and make our products sing. So for lasagna, I always, at Christmas time especially, I make a lot of them for people. That's why I like to have at least 4 of them. I use our 9x13 lasagna pan. And let me just say, over the years, I have had metal pans. I've had Le Creuset, which is like cast iron. I've had glass ones, Pyrex, right? I'm sure you've all had lots of different lasagna pans, and they're not so great. I mean, they do the job, but like the glass ones, my gosh, they're so heavy. By the time you have a heavy lasagna in it, your wrists are ready to give out. And God forbid you drop that. You're not just out the food, you're out your dish. And then the metal ones get nasty over the years. They get kind of grungy and cut up, and you just wonder how safe those are to use. And my Le Creuset, I love it, but it's not very deep. And again, it's heavy. So this to me is the answer to everything 9x13. Whether you're baking a cake, whether you're making a batch of brownies, whether you're cooking a chicken or a lasagna or enchiladas or breakfast casseroles, this baby is so wonderful. It's very lightweight. It has a cover. That's one of my favorite things. In yesteryear, when you made a lasagna, you had to put foil or plastic wrap on it. Then what happens when you take your big salad bowl and you have no room in your fridge? You can't put it on top because it'll sink right through and ruin your lasagna or your cake. Ours come with these wonderful covers, right? So now I could come into the fridge with something else and just put it right on top, and no big deal, right? I'm not going to harm my food. So we love that it has a cover, and the cover is also going to act in tandem as a separate cooker, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So let's just talk about lasagna for a second. When I make my lasagna, I always make my homemade sauce, and I go to the store and I buy maybe 7 different spices. I like oregano and basil and some rosemary and some crushed red peppers and a bunch of other things. And if you go to the store right now, and we have like the best products to support this, if you go to the store and you buy a jar of spice, how many of you have been shopping for jars of spices like that? They're like $7 a jar. That's crazy. So if I needed 7 spices at $7 a piece, that's almost $50. It probably is after tax. Maybe there's no tax. So let's just say $49. If I go and buy my wonderful little spice shaker keepers right here, and I go to a Sprouts, and I think most of us on this video have Sprouts or Henry's or something around us where you can buy bulk spices. There's a whole end cap of all these bulk spices, and they're fresh, and you just take a little bag and you put the code number on it and you fill it with a little bit that you want. When I go at Christmas, because I want to have fresh sauce, I want to have fresh spices, I'm going to go to Sprouts, and I'm going to buy my 7 different little tablespoons, couple teaspoons, 2 tablespoons of the spices I need, put them in my spice keepers and label them. And maybe they cost me $2.50 for all 7 of them, because I just need a pinch. And I don't want jars of them, because you know what? If I'm not going to make that lasagna again for a year, maybe that spice that's in my sauce is not good a year later. Spices last like 9 months. I could do a whole demo on spices, but we're not here for that today. All that to say, when you're using your spices, how wonderful. These crushed red peppers that I'll use in my lasagna will last a long time. We use it for pizza, we use it for other Italian dishes, but I bought them in bulk, so they were $2 to fill up in here instead of $7 or $5 if you get them on sale. So all that to say, think about things when you're using your Tupperware that you can incorporate into your demo, whether you're baking, cooking, or just talking about your products that show people the beauty of the other things that we have. Because really Tupperware is not meant for standalone product demos, right? It's a demo that we can incorporate as many products as possible. So if I'm doing my lasagna, I'm going to put some sauce and my noodles. Maybe I have my that's a bowl, and I've made my ricotta and eggs and all those wonderful spices, some parsley in there so I can layer that. Maybe I've used my wonderful Chef Series cookware, and I've browned up some sausage or burger, or you could do Impossible Meat or Beyond Burger if you're going less animal proteins. So many options, right? And then I'll layer that and my sauce, which I've had simmering all day, and I'll just layer it and layer it. It's really fantastic. Now, if you're going crazy and you need something even deeper, we do have the deeper roaster. And you could even build up a taller one. And I love this one, especially for stuffed peppers, right? Because stuffed peppers need to stand up when you're going to bake them and cook them, and they kind of fall over if they're in some other kind of container. So I like that I can stuff, maybe 8 peppers in here. And you can do those really healthy, right? People are into quinoa now, and they're into brown rice and other healthy things. So a stuffed pepper could end up being a really healthy dish. And you can make something that will feed your family for a couple of nights, or if it's just you and a partner, then you could feed, for the whole week, or you could freeze things in our wonderful freezer containers. Now would be a good time to take your freezer container out and talk to your people about how they can freeze the leftovers that they make, their leftover lasagna or enchiladas or stuffed peppers or what have you, because we have the best freezer containers. Come back to the next demo and I'll talk about those, right? So the deeper one has its purpose, roasts, things that you might make in a crock pot if you don't have a crock pot or just want to have something out of the oven. This will do a wonderful large quantity of food for a potluck or for a big family or a dinner party. And again, that comes with the cover as well, which we love. So lasagna pan, one of my best friends in the oven. You might be thinking, Nancy, it's July and it's like a heat wave all over the world right now. Why are we not talking about microwave products? And I think we have the most amazing microwave products. I really do. I do that microwave breakfast maker every Saturday morning at my demos, and I make omelets for people and they go, how can I do this in a microwave in 3 minutes and not dirty up a pan and all that stuff? So there's definitely a great place for microwaving. My smart multi-cooker and I are best friends. I steam broccoli and cauliflower and stuff in it all the time. And that's a great product. But no, when you're baking, when you're roasting, when you're searing, there's nothing like stuff out of an oven. Take that from me as a chef. You can't get the same caramelization and deep flavor that you can when you put something in the microwave. So yes, microwaves are wonderful. They have ease of use. They cost less money. They're quicker. But if you want really deep flavors, you want to go into your oven and start cooking. You want to caramelize things and brown things in your chef series cookware or even your universal cookware. Those are the things that are going to really bring out the chef in you instead of nuking everything, right? So we talked about lasagna, enchiladas, wonderful thing to do. You can make a whole casserole in here, stuff them nice and tight, but you can do a lot of baked goods in here as well, like pies, not pies, but cakes and brownies and bars and squares. Before we move away from savory though, this past 2 weekends ago, I went to a baby shower. My husband's youngest is having their second child next month, and we had a baby shower, and I thought, let me bring the brunch casseroles. I have a bunch of recipes for brunch casseroles, and I want to make 3 of them because there's like 50 people coming. But the mom to be, I asked her, is there any special dietary requests? And she said, some of my girlfriends are gluten-free. So most of my brunch casseroles come with stale bread that's cubed up, soaked in the milk and custard that I normally would do. And then I would build it up with eggs and cheese and veggies. So I thought I have to find a different solution. So you know what I did? I found a recipe for a brunch casserole that used potato hash brown pancakes. You know that you get at McDonald's? They have those oval shaped hash brown patties. They actually sell those at Trader Joe's. I think it's 12 in a packet, really affordable. And so I got a couple of packs of those, and I had 3 of these all ready to go. I put a little olive oil in the bottom just to make sure nothing sticks. And clean up, let me just say clean up before I forget, that is such an ease with these. I've had these for 9 years. They're such workhorses, and they come up looking beautiful all the time. You don't need to scrub. A little bit of Dawn, a little bit of hot water, let it sit, and then take something non-abrasive and everything will come right off and it's ready to go for the next round. But I do like to coat things with a little olive oil or butter, depending on what I'm using. I took the hash brown patties and I laid them all flat. I cut some to make sure they fit into the oven. They went at like 350 for maybe 15 minutes until they were crispy. In the meantime, I had my Chef Series cookware. My whole stove is full of Chef Series cookware. I don't have a place to store it, so they live on my stove. And they're a great conversation piece. Everyone who comes into my house says, where did you get that cookware? And when I say Tupperware, they go, Tupperware makes cookware. You have to keep reminding people, this is not your mother's or your grandmother's Tupperware. We have stuff now that would blow people's minds. It just doesn't feel like it's the old plastic bowls that people, associate us with. So get them to have a party, show off everything we have to their friends, and they'll date parties and they'll date parties because people want to see what's new. They can't believe A, we're still around, and B, we have such innovative and remarkable products. Okay, so back to the brunch casserole. I'm sauteing some sausage in the pan in my skillet. And in the meantime, I had my smart multi-cooker. I don't have that here, but I would bring that out. And I had some broccoli. I want to steam it. I want to make this as healthy as I could. Granted, sausage isn't super healthy, but I could add a ton of vegetables to it. So I steamed a bunch of broccoli florets in my smart multi-cooker. Steam that, and as soon as they're ready, 11 minutes or so, put them in an ice bath or run cold water so that you stop the cooking. It's kind of like blanching them, right? We don't want to keep cooking, then they'll fall apart and be mush. So when you get that perfect kind of al dente, ready to go steamed cook degree, Ice bath it, cold water it, make it stop cooking, and then dry it with some paper towels so it doesn't make your casserole soggy. Once I drained out my sausage in the Tupperware colander, I saved some of that rendering that was in there, the leftover fat, and then I sauteed the onions and the peppers and the mushrooms in small batches, adding salt and pepper, adding some spices with my spice shakers, and making it really flavorful. And then I started to layer everything up. I needed a whole bunch of cheese. And if you haven't heard this already, when you buy a bag of pre-shredded cheese, you're getting a bunch of junk in there. You're getting gluten because they have to make some kind of powdery substance. I've heard all kinds of things of what's in there, from wood shavings to baby powder. I don't think any of that's true, but I know there's stuff on my shredded cheese when I buy a packet of pre-shredded cheese. You can see it. And the reason they have to do that is because they're shipping these right all over the place. They're in loading docks, they're in warehouses and refrigerators. And it will clump together if the temperature changed and your shredded cheese wasn't protected by some kind of coating to individually separate each shred. Guess what? We have one of the best shredders in town. Can I find that quickly? Grater, Shredder, Master, ta-ta-da. What a great product this is. Thank you very much. If you're not demonstrating this, if you're not using this at home so you feel confident demonstrating it, you are missing the boat. This shredder, my husband couldn't even believe what I said. I'm going to shred this block of cheese in 3 minutes or less. And I had to slice it in pieces because I got this really nice big block of cheddar cheese, and I shoved it, sliced it in pieces and shoved each one down the hopper. And I mean, in 3 minutes, crank, 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 easiest thing. I had this bowl full of lovely, freshly shredded cheese with no gluten and no powder substance around the shreds. Put the rest in a bowl, and he can use that when he's making his enchiladas and quesadillas and all the things he makes. He's a cheese junkie. So that was another product to incorporate. So again, I'm not saying don't focus on your sale products, but sometimes we get so caught up on that $15 item we want to tell people about that we're missing the fact that we have these amazing systems that people can buy one of, and then they have a party and they earn the next pieces free, and their friends come and see them, and pretty soon they need the ice grinder. So think about the products we have in the catalogs that don't come and go. They're here for a long time, so you can build your inventory and household establishment with it. Okay, so we have shredded cheese, we have steamed broccoli, we have all these grilled vegetables, we have our potatoes already cooked, and now we start to layer. And again, you could use something wonderful like your supersonic chopper to blend up all the egg mixture. I make a lot of quiche. That's one of the things I'm known for as a chef. People hire me to make quiches for brunches and whatnot. And you can put a dozen eggs in here and a quart of half and half, or heavy whipping cream, and you can blend it together really easily. I know we can whisk things too, but sometimes that's messy. And if I'm gonna have this out and using it anyway, really easy to do that. You would use this blade, not the chopping blade, right? Chopping is for crunching up and tearing up hard things. Like if I'm gonna slice up and chop up something hard like an onion or pepper or nuts or whatever, I want to use my sharp blade. But if I'm just blending something, whipping whipped cream or using eggs or anything like that, I would put this right in here and get that situated, lock it in place, hold on to it and pull. And in no time, I have a blended up dozen eggs and some half and half. And so now I have my cream mixture. So we have our hash browns, put the sausage on top, put the veggies, pour my wonderful egg mixture all over. And again, you can find any recipe online to do it, any variation of an egg casserole, brunch casserole. Then I put my shredded cheese, and then I baked it in my wonderful Ultra Pro for maybe, it said 25 minutes, but I think I put too much in it and it was still soggy. So if it's not set like a custard should be, then you want to cover it. I didn't cover it. You want to cook it for a little bit more. I actually cooked it for 15 minutes longer. And then I adjusted the notes on my recipe. So next time I make it, I know I need more like 40 minutes to do this. So it came out, it was nice and cheesy. And then I did like even more wonderful, horrible things. I put bacon bits all over it and scallions and ready to go. And then I got to cover it. And I had 3 of them. Guess how easy these were to transport. I had one of those tomato boxes from Costco, and they lined right up next to it so they wouldn't wiggle around the back of Tom's van. And off we went to the party. They stayed warm for the whole shower. I had them in the oven at a low temperature to keep them warm. But the one that we had sitting out, no one got to it for the first hour or so, and it was still nice and steamy when we opened the cover. And again, I brought Tupperware tools, right? We have all of our tools. We want to use these when we're using our Tupperware. Anything that's non-abrasive, we don't want to be using metal tools in our wonderful Ultra Pro. So make sure you're using things like our Tupperware tools that are very affordable, lifetime guarantee. We love all that about Tupperware, right? But we need to educate our consumers so that they understand the value of the investment they're making. So when I tell people, sorry, I don't know the price now. These always were $99. Now they're $124, $124, da, da, da. And I'll say, this is a little on the pricey side. I get that, but why not have a party and earn it free? Why not date a party and get one for free and get one for half price? Why not join Tupperware and get it at a discount? So you're adding these pitches kind of nonchalantly throughout your demo as people are thinking, oh God, I really want that, but do I want to spend that much money on one item? I came here for fridge smarts. So you're helping them figure out how to spend their money wisely, but everybody wants one of these by the time you're done. If I'm not doing a morning brunch party, my favorite thing to do in this is a pineapple upside down cake. So let me tell you quickly about that. I don't mind that I'm going on forever, but I get so excited. I have so many things to share about these. So here's what I do for the pineapple upside down cake, because I got to demo a lot of products with this one as well. Pineapple upside down cakes traditionally don't have crushed nuts, but I love any opportunity to use this guy. I had 11 people at my party Saturday and 7 of them bought this when I cut an onion. This thing sells itself. I'm sorry. People go, oh, you're such a great salesperson. I go, no, I demonstrate a product and the Tupperware basically tells you, I need you to buy me so I can be in your home, make your life easier. That's how I see it. So we have our large supersonic chopper, which we're going to use again for this pineapple upside down cake. And we have our smaller mini chopper, best friend. I keep this so handy in my kitchen to use all the time. Again, if you don't have one, if you're not using it, you're missing the boat. Need to get one, need to start using our products. So we have our blade guards. Real important when you're telling your people about these products that they should keep the blade guard in the blade guard when they're not using it, and keep it out of reach. Don't put this in the dishwasher. You can put your other pieces in if you want. I wash things like this by hand, put them right back in the blade guard, snap it up, and get it out of reach of anyone that might harm themselves. So we have our little blade. It sits right on that little point underneath. And here at a party, I would have a chance to chop some nuts. So here's some pecans and a modular mate. We could do a whole demo on a modular mate, right? So again, if you're incorporating these products, your entire demonstration is just focused on the things you're making, but you're incorporating product after product line where people are go, what, modular mates? I haven't seen those. What are those about? Or maybe I have 6, but I have all these crackers and cereals and nuts going bad, so I guess I need 20 more. And tell them your stories. You know, I have 66 at last count, maybe 68 now. And I switched over to the longer ones, the super modular mates, modular, why can't I think of the name of that? Super ovals. They should wear a cape with an S. They're not just ovals, they're super ovals. I love those because they're 12 inches. They fill up the entire cabinet, right? With all of these that we got in the 1980s when they came out, you'd have cans in front of them or cans behind them. You'd have to take stuff out and move them to get them. So I know these have a place, college dorms, RVs, but if you're just starting with modular mates, go for super ovals because they'll fill up that whole space and you can put more stuff in a less high container because they're deeper. Does that make sense? Okay, so pecans, guess where I got them? Sprouts in bulk because they sell nuts and grains and beans and all those things in bulk. Take some pecans, put them in your little chopper, and then make sure people see that. I say, if you blink, you're gonna miss this. It takes 10 pulls or less to do an onion. It takes about 9 or 6 rather for nuts. And you can do it in midair. You could put it down and put your hand on it like we're supposed to, but I showed how easy it is. And I open it up and I put it right in front of my desk and walk around the room. And it's all, ooh, ah, all together, automatic. People can't believe how quick a job this does on onions, on nuts, on spices, all kinds of things. I don't like long pieces of rosemary. When I use fresh herbs, I love to chop them. So I get more of a crushed one. It releases the oils. So it flavors better. And then you don't have these big twigs in your mouth when you're eating that. So anyway, great little chopper for lots of reasons. So even though normally you wouldn't have nuts in a pineapple upside down cake, Nancy's does because Nancy needs to demonstrate her mini chopper. So the first thing I do in my Ultra Pro, and here you can use the microwave to show the versatility of both microwave and oven use. I would take a stick of butter. I take my measuring cups, ta-da, talk about these briefly, but every home should have them. They are the best. Old school ones, we didn't have the special numbers and special sizes like 1/3 of a cup and 2/3 of a cup. Those are very important. That's a real great benefit to tell people at your party. These have all these sort of numbers. They're great for right-handed and left-handed pourers. You know, we didn't used to do that. I had the yellow ones from the 1970s that I had for 35 years. I had such a hard time getting rid of them because they were solid workhorses. I thought, why would I get rid of them? But they were kind of scratching, and these are so pretty. I just finally bit the bullet, gave them to someone, and bought myself the newer ones. So, and I love that the numbers are etched in. They're not going to wear off or anything. They stack beautifully. They fit right in my drawer. I love our cups and spoons. So anyway, use these when you're making stuff like our pineapple upside down cake. I would take some brown sugar, maybe 1/3 of a cup. Crumble the brown sugar in with my cut up stick of butter, put it in the microwave. I would put the cover on just in case the butter splashes. That's the benefit of having a cover. It's not going to go up inside the top of your microwave. Maybe for like a minute, butter melts pretty quickly. take your spatula, get to talk about that briefly, silicone, heat resistant, stain resistant, smear it around, make sure that butter's melted, maybe it goes back in for 30 seconds. So now I have the bottom of this pineapple upside down cake. And here's where I'd put in the pecans. And now I'm gonna take my jar of pineapple slices, right? You want rings, slices, you don't want chunks, you want slices. And guess what I get to demo now? I bet you're all guessing at home. The can opener, of course. This is a great product. You need to demonstrate this. When Brownie said Tupperware needs to be demonstrated to be appreciated, this in particular, I agree with, because people don't know how to use it. I struggled at my first 6 parties figuring out how to use this. So I tell them that, I'm honest about it. So I tell them how to do it. I might even do a couple cans while I'm at a party so people will, and I always start with who hates their can opener? And I keep it active and participating so people are engaged with me. And when I ask them questions, they're like, oh, I hate my can opener. Or mine is stuck under the counter and it doesn't ever work. It rips the labels off. Or my husband's ready to throw it out. You'll hear that kind of feedback. And then you know who needs to buy one, date a party, get it for free, right? So I show them how to use it. I'll tell them if they open it up and keep it open. I'll say it's not like traditional can openers where you open it from the side. You lay it on top, kind of with the black part of the handle facing your stomach. Lay it on top and try to jiggle it around so that you're getting the lip of the can in between this mechanism. And the more you tell them step by step how they're doing it, the more confident they'll be when they come up and try it. And I will have them come up and try it. So we're gonna lay it down, kind of jiggle it till we know we're get it in the right spot, clamp it together, and if you can pick it up, then you know you have it secure. Then you're gonna hold it with your non-dominant hand, and with your dominant hand, you're gonna turn. I'm not gonna do that right now, but you turn it, and I tell them you're not gonna feel anything cutting because it's literally not cutting the metal. It's kind of taking the top of the lid off, reverse process of how it's put on in the manufacturing plant. So it's not gonna feel like it's cutting, but you're gonna know because when you turn it, and it's very easy to turn, people with carpal tunnel and arthritis can have an easier time. They can put their fingers in it and turn gently. It just is the best can opener. Anyway, once we go around, you're gonna feel a little bit of a release in your hand. You're gonna hear a click, and then you'll know you're all set. The next benefit to this is once you open it, we're not done. We have this little tooth right here, and we'll put that anywhere on the lip of the can, close it up, and when you pull it off, that whole lid's gonna come off. I actually touch it, and I go, oh, look, no blood. No blood on the, from the fingers from the can, because there's no sharp edges. So I tell them, sometimes you have your grandson over and you're nervous about the can opener, or you have one of those peel off cans for SpaghettiOs or something, and people slice their fingers on those. You can use this even around those pull top cans. And then when I show them that you have the lid up here, I say, guess what's not getting in here? All that cross-contamination and nasty garbage that you get when you go from dog food to tuna fish back to dog food, gross, right? I just go over to my recycling, open it up, and voila, there's the lid. And now I have my open can. I know that was a lot about a can opener, but they need to know that. And then I tell them when you buy it, you're gonna have a little instruction manual. If you don't read it, you're gonna struggle. So read it, and if you still can't figure it out, go to YouTube and type in Tupperware can opener demonstration, and there's like 5,000 Tupperware demos on how to use this. So we have lots of support for you to be successful using your can opener. Okay, so in my recipe for a pineapple upside down cake and a regular box mix that we're gonna do, I would never use a box mix when I'm baking, but I'm at a party and I wanna make things easy, right? I would follow the back of the instructions, 3 eggs, some vegetable oil or canola oil, and then it says to add water. Guess what? I don't use the water. I use the pineapple juice. It'll make the cake taste so much better. And you have this leftover juice anyway. So usually it's about a cup's worth, but if I pour it into my measuring cup and I need a little more, I'll top it off with some water. And all that's gonna go right here in our chopper, supersonic chopper. This is the part people can't believe. What? You're gonna make a cake mix in a Tupperware bowl this size? It's like, yes, and they don't believe it until they see it. And then again, their minds are exploding. Here's another thing I have to tell people because I'm at a demo. This is such a silly aside, but when you get your lovely chopper, your supersonic chopper, this will be inside, and all of your pieces are going to be wrapped up in individual pieces of plastic, and they're all going to be inside. Whoops, not that guy, this guy. And here in our funnel, if I get to it, I'll tell you how we use that. And all that's wrapped up individually, and there's a little manual that tells you what to do, and most people won't read it, and they should. But the main thing is to take this off, flip this upside down, and put the silicone ring on the bottom. This is an anti-skid, anti-slip ring, really important, so that when you're pulling this, especially with things that are hard, when you're making salsa, like onions and jalapenos and garlic, you want to be able to pull it without this shimmying all over the counter. That's what that's for. I never thought I'd have to say that, and then somewhere 6-7 years ago, a customer called and said, I chopped up my onion and there's little blue flakes of stuff inside. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I said, take a picture of it and text me. And I realized that she had chopped up the blue silicone ring that was inside when she put her onion and chopped away. And I thought, please don't eat that. That is not digestible. You will be sick. Why didn't you put that on the bottom? And I thought, that's surely an anomaly. No one's done that before or will again, until 6 more times that had happened. And I thought, okay, people are not reading their manuals and they need to know this. So at every demo, I take the time to physically show them how to put this. Can you believe that, Jerry? You never know. So read the manual. That's the little goal of that. So here we have this. And for this time, we're going to use, again, that whipping blade. Put it right in the middle. We'll open up our cake mix. Set it aside for now. First thing we're going to do is we're going to add our 3 eggs. So crack the 3 eggs. Now we're going to put in our measured out oil and that cup of yummy pineapple juice. We'll ring on. Pull cord mechanism on. Hold on to it. That silicone pad's doing its thing now. That ring. And we pull it like 3 times. 3 times. You've got scrambled up eggs and pineapple juice and oil. It's ready to go. 3 times. Don't need your electric mixer. Now you take out the box. Now open the box, take out the little pouch, cut it open. And I always tell people when I'm at a party, put your finger over the hole in here so you don't have to clean it out later. Put the finger over the hole and then dump your loose powder of yellow cake mix around. Put this back on. And again, 3 to 4 pulls. That's all. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you've got a cake batter all ready to go. It's crazy. You might see a little bit of flour, but you never want to overbeat it. Flour has gluten and gluten will get tough as it's beat. So you want to be gentle when you're mixing that. If need be, take this out, set it aside, and then take your paddle scraper, right? Our wonderful silicone spatula, and just mix it once or twice more. So again, I've got brown sugar and butter. I've got some chopped pecans. I have my candied pineapple rings. I put the rings all over. And then because we love the beauty of the 1950s, we have maraschino cherries, right? So we're going to put 1 maraschino cherry in every little ring of the pineapple. And because there's a lot more cherries in the jar, I just stick them kind of in every hole and crack that we have. And then I pour my batter over it. It goes in the oven at normal time, whatever the box says, 350, half an hour. And when you take it out, it smells so good during the demo. When you're doing this, people are like so ready to eat. I had a party and the woman wanted to do a 50s theme. So everybody wore pearls and frilly skirts and aprons. And we did jello molds and all kinds of things. And we did a pineapple upside down cake. It was so fitting and fun. Anyway, let it cool for a few minutes. If you need to, you can take one of our tools, either this or the spatula, and just make sure it's around off the sides. Either one will work. But because you've greased it a little bit, you shouldn't have a problem. Take a cookie sheet, unless your host has a beautiful platter. Put it on here with pot holders, flip it over. And when you pull that out, you've got this beautiful pineapple ring with butter and brown sugar and cherries and pecans. It's such a lovely presentation. And you made it in a Tupperware plastic bowl. Come on, how did we do that in the oven? That's crazy. Okay, my last tip about this, and I know I've gone on forever, but I love telling you about Ultra Pro, is my favorite thing to do with it. How many of you know the Barefoot Contessa, right? She's on the Food Network. Love her madly. I'm a garden. She's my culinary idol. I have all her cookbooks. I actually met her one time. I was in Paris. I took a class at Le Cordon Bleu. She was filming Barefoot in Paris. I didn't know that. I kind of bumped into her and had an out-of-body experience, kind of flipped out. And she was so gracious. She hung out with me for 10 minutes and we talked and took pictures and shared stories about the best cheese shops and the best bread shops in Paris. It was a real highlight. Anyway, I love her. If you ever follow her, she has a husband named Jeffrey who works in New Jersey, and every weekend he comes home from work and she makes him his favorite roasted chicken dinner. And I stole that from her, and I do it a lot here for my husband, and I tell people at my parties. That's the beauty of the cover being flipped over to be cooked in tandem. So here we have our lasagna pan, right? Our enchilada pan, our cake pan, but how wonderful if you can make a whole dinner in this while you're off setting the table, making a salad, opening the wine with our corkscrew, making cold brew coffee with our cold brew coffee maker, right? So many things. You're drinking water from our water bottle. See, I mean, I'm telling you, you could just talk forever about all of our products incorporated into wonderful dinners or parties. Anyway, so in here, I would put some olive oil and I would chop up probably by hand, because if you did it with this, it might be kind of chopped too finely, but I would dice up some carrots. I use a peeler, Tupperware peeler. I dice up some carrots and some celery and a whole bunch of potatoes, maybe some garlic, onions, put all those in there, lots of salt and pepper, lots of olive oil, toss them all together. And they're going to caramelize in this because, again, you can't caramelize in a microwave, right? That's when you need the surface area of the oil and the product stick enough together to have that fond, to have that wonderful coating where you get the crispiness on your vegetables and potatoes. Okay, now instead of covering it like so, we're going to flip this over. You can take a 6-pound roaster or fryer. Take that chicken home, take all the bag of the stuff inside out, wash it, dry it, pat it dry with a paper towel. And then inside, I take a whole clove of garlic and I cut it so that the cloves are cut in half. So you open it, take off some of the papers, but you can leave most of them on. Take a whole lemon, cut that in half. Fresh thyme, fresh rosemary. I stuff all that in the bird, right? So you've got 2 pieces of lemon, 2 pieces of garlic, thyme, rosemary, salt and pepper. Shove all that in the bird. Sit the bird on here, pat it with some olive oil, and then put it in the lower rack of your oven because it's going to be kind of tall, at a high temperature, maybe 425 for maybe an hour and a quarter. And when it's done, use your pot holders, it's in the oven. Take this out, put it on a rack, and then carefully take off the top piece that has the chicken, wipe the bottom underneath because it's got all this condensation from your vegetables, sit it on your counter, and you have these beautiful caramelized roasted vegetables. Mix them up with your tools, serve them to your guests. You have this gorgeous roasted chicken on here that's crispy and lovely. Yes, we can cook a chicken in the microwave in a step cooker, but it's not going to come out like this. This is magic chicken. But that's magic chicken. This is roasted chicken. Anyway, when you're done, you didn't eat all of it, right? So you've got leftover bird. You can pick it apart or take it out in pieces, put it in your leftover veggies. Turn your cover on, put it in the refrigerator, and 2 days later, now you can put it in the microwave and just do your reheating because it's already fully cooked. So fantastic thing you can do with this. Any kind of beef stew, any kind of roast, you can just go on and on with every dish you can think of with your Ultra Pro. So don't be shy. I think I talked about all the things I wanted to. Use your Ultra Pro, buy it, earn it, get it free. Ask for it for Christmas, whatever you need to do. Get this stuff in your life, use it, and then talk about it to people. Your enthusiasm about your products will sell the products for you, because if you believe in it, then people are going to believe in it because you've talked about it from your heart, and that's what's most important. So that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Love you all.
Thank you so much. And I know everybody got so many great ideas, and I challenge you, go get your own Ultra Pro, as Nancy suggested. So thank you, Nancy. You are wonderful. I always love listening to you demonstrate. So I hope everybody enjoyed. Once again, thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.